It's strength in finding resilience beyond your circumstances. What is up, you guys? I'm Zakia Monet, and welcome to the Finding Your Way podcast, where we share stories about hardships and share ways to not let our circumstances define us. Like you, we just here to find our way. What's up? What's up? What's up? My name is Zakia. Go by Zakia Monet on all social media platforms, and welcome to another episode of Finding Her Way podcast, where we talk about all things finding her way, finding who you are, past your trauma, healing, all of those things. So let's get into this episode. This episode is going to be a little different because we're usually talking about trauma and we're just talking about the deep stories in the past and reliving and how to deal with those things and navigating. But I want to talk about something different. I want to talk about dating past your trauma, like being so scared or, you know, having to go through that whole process all over again after you've been through a hurtful situation or a hurtful past or anything of that nature. But before we get into that, you know, we always do a journal entry. So let's get into that. Our journal entry will be, in this new season, what does finding love look like for you? So I'm gonna say that again. In this season, after healing, after trauma, well, this is actually, it's not even actually after healing. This is during your healing process. So during your healing process, after the trauma has subsided, after you went through that whole thing, now you're in the healing process. What does finding love look like for you? Because we all want to eventually find that love. I know, at least for me, I'm a lover girl to the core. I'm a lover girl. So I know I really want that to be my happy ending. I want to find love. You know, and I'm not even gonna say I want to find love again because I really don't feel like that was love. So I want to find love. Like, even though I was in a loving space and I was in that space of giving love, I don't feel like I received it in the way I deserve to receive it. So what does that look like for you? What does finding love look like for you? So let's get into this episode. Um, as I said before, I'm very much a lover girl. I love love. I love all things love. You know, so after going through, like, that was my first and only real relationship that I've ever had. Like, you know, you have those, you know, kiddie relationships or whatever, you know, stuff like that. But that was my real first relationship, you know? So after going through that, um, my first after going through that whole situation, um, I feel like a woman leaves a relationship mentally before they leave physically. So I had already left the relationship mentally, and I was already in that space of, damn, like, I hope I can, like, I was already in that space of, like, I really want to be in love with somebody who loves me. So I was already in that space of looking for another relationship, which is wrong, which you shouldn't even, that shouldn't even be a thing. I feel like for me, I needed to find myself, but instead I went about it all the wrong way. After that relationship ended and I was finally over it, I jumped into talking to somebody, and that was a whole thing. So, I just feel like I jumped too fast into talking to other people and wanting to talk to other people or be in a relationship with somebody else. Like, I jumped way too fast. I didn't need that time. I needed to find myself. I needed to learn myself, and I needed to learn how to love myself. I needed that, and I didn't do that. So when I'm picking these people or when I'm talking to people, like, I'm trying to pick everything that's opposite of what I've been through, but it's really the same. Besides, like, the domestic situations, like, they're really the same. Like, I'm just picking and choosing any and everybody, not giving my chance to, figure out what it is that I want for myself. And, like, what it is that I need my child to be around. So you always have to keep that in mind as a mom. Like, you're not just dating for you, you're dating for your kids as well. I know we like to think, like, this is my, like, them kids, this kid's gonna have to get with, whatever I'm with. But in actuality, you have to be with somebody who loves your kids as much as they love you. Like, that is so important. So I have to, like, me looking back on it now, I didn't do that. I didn't move in that way. And so I was just jumping from person to person, not, like, it was just, after that relationship, I just went crazy. I just went crazy because it was just like being in a controlled space and having somebody control your every move, or just like dealing with a controlling person. You can't do anything, you can't go out, you can't do all these other things. Like, I was doing everything that I couldn't do in it. Like, I just I was going crazy. But in that me going crazy, I also call myself falling for or having a deep like for any and every person that I came in contact with. Not saying it was every one of them, but if they, like if they were showing me some attention, or if they was like, telling me nice things, like I was, I was with it. So, like that was just like how I was moving. That's like, now that I have been through that and some time has passed and I'm getting older and I'm going more in my healing stage, or I'm going more in my, processing and learning who I am as a woman, I know that that was wrong, that I went about it all the wrong way. I feel like after a long relationship and after a long toxic relationship, whether you're being hit on or not, because domestic doesn't always have to be physical. Abuse can be mentally, like like it doesn't always have to be there. So whether you're in a physical abuse relationship or not, I feel like you should always take some. I feel like you should have like a gap year. You know how like college kids, like they have like a school, like a gap year from school. You should have a gap year. Discover what it is that you want, what it is that you want to learn about yourself. Learn more about yourself. Date yourself. Like that should be a thing. You should really date yourself after a long relationship like that. After a long toxic relationship like that, you should really date yourself and learn like what it is that you want out of life, like what it is that you want out of a person, what it is that like what it is, like not just what he can bring to the table, but what can you bring to the table. Like not even just like a money aspect, but just like what can you bring to the table, like mentally, like like what can you bring to the table. Are you okay? Like, how can you be with somebody if you don't love yourself? Like, how can you love somebody else if you don't fully learn yourself, you don't fully know who you are? What can you expect from them? Like, what can you expect for them to give you? They can't, like, some people go through relationships and they expect the other person to teach them about themselves, And I feel like that is such the wrong way to go about it. That's like you're leaving your life in their hands, basically, when it comes to your relationship. Like you're letting them, although you should let a man lead, I give them that, you should let a man lead, but don't let it be a thing of where this man is I don't know how to explain it, because I feel like in my mind it sounded right, but when I'm trying to explain it, it's not coming out right. So I don't know, but just learn you. What can you bring to the table? Who are you? Like that's just where I'm getting at with that. So I feel like I didn't take that time to do that. And so I was just everywhere. Like I was just, like it was just a mess. My dating was a mess. It still is. It still is a mess. But I guess I'm just like, I'm still in a phase of learning who I am. Although like my problem is now that for one, I have a couple things to touch on, because I have a few problems. For one, it's my son, and I feel like it's probably all boys that are so protective of their mothers, but I feel like with my son, or with children who have experience, being in a domestic household, a domestic violence household, or abusive household, or who have been around it and experienced certain things that other kids, shouldn't, like, I feel like it's different. They are so much more protective. They are so much more like on guard, or there's so much like they have a wall up when it comes to any man wants to be with their mom, or their mom wants to be with a man, or their mom even talking about that. I feel like with my son, I'm having a hard time, with him getting with the program. Although I'm the mama and I'm trying to get him, how to stay in a child's place, I still have to consider, I still have to at least like hear what he's saying, and how he feels about certain situations. So I at least give him the floor, to express how he feels. And we've had these conversations, and the reality of it is that we both have the same process. Is like we just don't want to go through that again. So it's so scary, like dating and going to the world again and wanting to do this whole thing all over again and wanting to be in a relationship and have that family is so scary, because like you just don't know a person, until like you've been with a person, Because a person can show you a facade. A person can show you a character. They can show you that. They'll give you the roses. They'll show you whatever you want to do. If you tell them, like, this is what I like, this is what I want you to do for me, they're going to do that. Not all men, but, you know, like, the characters, they're going to do that. They're going to play their role until they feel like they got you. Then the light switch, you know? So I'm just like, it's just scary. And then, like, I didn't take into consideration that it would be a thing for him. Like, he doesn't want to see his mama go through that. He doesn't want to have to see that again. Like, he doesn't want to see me get hurt. So when like, he be trying, like, when he see a man looking at me, or if he feel like I'm talking, or if he see me or catch me talking to somebody, or something like that, like, he gets so defensive, he gets so mad, and it turns into a whole thing. But I had to, you know, like, have a conversation with him, because it got to the point where it started to get, you know, really crazy. Like, he was getting really mad and upset. So I had to have a conversation with him, and originally I was upset, because, like, you a child. At the end of the day, you're still a child, and, you know, we're not doing it. So I had to, you know, take a minute, I had to take a breath, and I had to have an actual conversation with my son. You know, like, nobody's going to take your place. I'm going to, like, it's not going to be, like, you know, God is going to cover us. God is going to give me the man that'll be, like, the perfect man for me. We're not going to go through that again. You know, like, I just had to have that type of conversation with him. Because, like, at the end of the day, he's just like me. We're in a world lost. It's just us trying to figure this thing out, trying to get through this healing thing, and trying to, you know, navigate life together. So we're doing it, you know, we're doing a thing. So I had to understand him, but I have these conversations with him about staying in his place and letting him know that he's still a child. But I got him and I got us. So that's, as long as I feel like me reassuring him that was cool, but he still ain't having it. Like, he still ain't going for, you know, like, you know, I feel like all boys are like that though. Like, they still not going for their mama talking to different men, or talking to a man, period. They still not going for it. So I think until somebody comes in and show us something different, then he's always gonna have that guard up. But, you know, I'm still teaching him, you know, like, it's okay. Like, I got you, I got us. Like, just giving him that reassurance every time. Because it's understandable. Like, he has been through a lot. He has seen a lot as a child. So we don't want to go through that again. Who wants to go through that again? He doesn't want to go through that again. His dad or not. Like, we just don't want to go through that. So, you know, like, we're still, like, outside of me having to navigate it, I'm still having to navigate it with my son. And so, like I was saying, like, it's so important to not just date for yourself, but date for your child as well. I'm just a mess. I'm a mess. So, like, I'm really scared of, like, what I could do, like, the type of impact I could have in a relationship right now. Although, like, that's really what I want. I really like I said, like, I'm a love girl. Like, I love love. Valentine's Day is right around the corner, and it's just like, it's just you. But I also have come to understand, like, it's cool to want love. Like, you're gonna get that. You're gonna get that. It's already done. It's already set in stone. It's already there. As long as you continue to go down the path of following God and have these conversations with him, you know, like, he knows what you need. He knows what you want. So, you know, like, he's just like, hold on, girl. Like, hold on. I got you, shorty. Like, I got you. But while that's being handled over here, while I'm making sure and getting somebody prepared for you and your son over here, so you can have the family that you want, so you can have the life that you want, so you can have the love that you want and that you deserve, we need to get you straight over here. We need to get you on the path to where you love yourself so much, can't nobody tell you nothing. To where you love yourself so much that if you're okay with being alone, or you're happy with being in a place where it's just you by yourself, and you not having to, you know, like, worry about what a man doing, what a man got going on, because you got you, you know? Like, you don't have to worry about that. So let's get you straight. Let's take care of you and all these insecurities you got going on, and all this hurt you got going on, all this pain you got going on, so you don't leak that onto somebody else. You know, so you don't bring that into another situation, because that man don't deserve whatever you got going on. So until, you know, like, you get yourself straight, don't worry about what's over here. I feel like that's the conversations that we have. And so, like, the older I get, the more that I start to understand, like, I'm just not ready for that. Although that's really what I want. That's really what, that's really what I want. But I know it's not what I need right now. I have to date myself. I have to learn myself. Like, I have to go out and, sit by myself at a table and eat dinner with myself. Like, I have to do those things. Because, like, I feel like once you do that, you equip yourself to know what you want from a man. To know what, because if you don't know what you want from a man, like, how can he give you what you need if you don't know what you want or what you require in order for you to be satisfied out of that relationship? So, like, I just have to learn what I want, what I don't want, what I will allow, what I won't allow, like, what's okay, what's not okay. And I have to get these insecurities under control. I have to get this scary feeling that I have of dating again. I have to get that under control, because I don't want to go in a relationship with fear. Like, thinking about, like, is this man gonna turn? Like, is this man gonna try to kill me? This man, like, I don't wanna go through that. Like, I don't wanna do that. I don't wanna be on edge. I wanna love fiercely. I wanna love, like, peacefully. I wanna love. Like, I wanna be in that stage. So in order for me to get to that, I have to peel back these layers of myself. So that's just where I'm at with it. I'm just, like, in a mature, like, I'm just, like, in a mature space. Because, like, back then, oh, baby. Back then, I was just having a conversation with a friend. And we were just having this conversation about, like, maturing as you get older in relationships and dating in relationships and things of that nature. And it's just, like, it's a lot of stuff that I used to do that I had to check myself about. Like, something as simple as, like, having to text a man first. Like, something about that gave that I was begging. Like, something about that just gave that you're begging. If that man don't want to talk to you, he don't want to talk to you. Like, people make time for who they want to talk to, Like, people make time for the people they want to make time for. Did I say that right? If I didn't say that right, don't say that. But, like, that's such a true statement. People make time for who they want to make time for. So if he's not making time for you, if he's not reaching out, sometimes I get it. People be busy, People be busy. But as I grow older, as I've grown older, I have been the one to reach out first. I have been the one to check in first. Like, I do that. I feel like that makes me feel some sort of, I don't know if peace is the word I'm looking for, but that gives me some type of, like, okay, you cool. I checked in, you good, Like, I've just always been that person to check on people and make sure they was good. Like, I've always been that way. But when it came to a man relationship, I feel like they needed to pursue me. But now, like, I'm not so mad at the fact, like, I'm not so mad at the idea or the fact of, like, me reaching out to people first. Like, I'm just not at that stage anymore. But that used to bother me. Like, if a man didn't reach out to me first, like, what is going on? But, like, I just don't care about it. I just don't care for it. I just don't care for it. It's a lot of things that I feel like I've grown out of when it comes to relationship, and that comes with you learning yourself and learning what you require and what you don't require. But what I'm not going to take is a man not reaching out for 2 to 3 weeks. Because then it's going to feel like, okay, you really don't want to talk to me. You really ain't trying to fuck with me for real. Like, it's just not giving that. It's just really, like, it's not giving like you trying to get married and you trying to have some more kids. Like, it's not giving that. It's not giving what you was just saying to me a couple of weeks ago. Like, it's not giving that. Like, that's what I don't like, the inconsistency. Like that's what be scary. Like, a man can go from talking to you every day, talking to you every week, like, making sure you good, checking on you or whatever, texting you, like, I have a good conversation. It can go from that to radio silence, just like that. That's what I don't like. So when a man shows you that, I feel like that's just not something you should be pursuing. But I do understand. I also had to understand that some people are okay with isolating, or some people isolate when they got a lot going on. So that's when I do my check-in, and when I do my check-in and you being dry, or you not like, you're not giving me anything, or you not replying back, then that's when it's like, okay, I did what I need to do, so I'm gonna just, go on about my way. So now, like, I'm in a stage of, I'm just talking to different people. I'm not having sex with, like most of the people. I'm just talking to different people, getting to know different people, and seeing what I like, seeing what I don't like. I feel like that's important as well. Date around, like you don't have to sleep with everybody. You don't have to sleep with everybody. Date around, go on dates by yourself. I feel like that is so important. Go on dates by yourself. See what you like and see what you don't like. I feel like dating around also gives you an opportunity to learn yourself and like I said, learn what you like and what you don't like. I'm no relationship guru. I'm not that. I'm just saying what I've learned from experience, or what I'm learning, or what I feel like will be the best route for me, and what people can relate to. That's just where I'm getting it. So I just feel like that's where I'm at with it. I'm just all over the place for real. But I know what I need to do. I know the direction I need to go in. Because like at one point I was just going crazy. And then it was just like, when you have sex, when sex is into play, emotions get attached and you get attached to the wrong person. So it's just like, I'm just, and even with sex, like, oh my gosh, even with sex, like I told y'all in a previous episode, like I got introduced to sex very young. It wasn't right, but that's just what it was. I was 10 years old. The guy was 19, about to be 20, and that's just how it happened. It wasn't sexual intercourse. It wasn't like any plunging, but it was like, the feeling, the touching, the grabbing, the mouth usage, stuff like that, like stuff like that. So I was introduced to that very young, and I feel like since that experience, I've just been a very sexual person. And even with that, I was talking to my best friend yesterday. We was having a conversation, and she was just like, she asked me, have you thought about practicing celibacy? And it wasn't like a question to like, girl, you having too much, like you doing too much. You doing too much. Like it wasn't that. It wasn't that. She was just, I think like now that we're on this spiritual journey and we're trying to do things right, or do things the right way, I think that's more so like where this conversation was going. So we would have this conversation, and I was just like, I don't know. And I was just telling her, because I've never told her before about that. And I never even told anybody about it I've never even told anyone about it until I told my therapist. So after I told my therapist, I felt, like, okay, like it was a relief. Like I felt like my shoulders came down a little bit, and I feel like I could actually talk about it. And so when I told her, it was just like, oh, okay, I get it. So I'm just trying to, navigate, like sex, and not confusing sex and relationships, and not confusing that with feelings, and because like for a man it could just be sex, like that could just be what it is. For a woman too, it could be that. It could just be sex. But I feel like for someone like me who gets attached to people, and who gets like like even an inkling of feeling with sex, like that's just a dangerous game. So I am learning to check that. I am learning how, like, I'm trying to figure out like what's the best way for me, if celibacy is the thing for me, because I have thought about it. I have thought about doing this journey, but it's just so hard for me. Kudos to anybody who's doing it. That takes discipline. I'm so proud of you, but your girl is not there yet. She ain't that mature. I'm not that mature. So I don't know, like, even though I haven't had no sex all month, I've been doing good. Well, last month too, like I ain't had sex in 2 months. No, I lied. I did. Last month I did. But this month, it's a new year. So I'm good. I'm at 0. I'm back at 0. The playing field is at ground level. It's at the flow, So I'm being more careful. I'm being more. I think for me, I just need to be more intentional about who I just give it to, you know? Because everybody can't get it. They just can't. It's exclusive. Like, everybody can't get it. That's how you gotta treat your body. Like, you gotta treat your body like it's so exclusive. Like, it's the club. Like, it's VIP. Everybody can't have VIP access to your body. Like, everybody just can't. So I'm just trying to be more intentional, be more careful when it comes to that. Because, you know, like, people be playing dangerous games out here. And everybody don't care about your life. So you gotta care about you. You gotta care about your body. You gotta care about everything. So I'm just being more intentional. I'm being more in tune with my body. All those things. So I don't know. I know when it's my time for a relationship, it'll just be my time, and it'll be so beautiful. It'll be so perfect. Well, it won't. Every relationship isn't perfect, but I feel like the perfect for me, that's what it will be. You know, like, I feel like I will get my fairy tale at the end. I don't want to be miserable and lonely and a cat lady. I tell my son that all the time. What, you want to be a cat lady? And he be like, yeah. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing that. Like, I just know, like, I'm lovable. And for a long time, I didn't feel lovable. Like, even sometimes now, like, when I be going through certain situations with, like, certain men or whatever, I just be like, damn, like, what is it about me that's not lovable or likable, or like that don't make you want to, you know, like, pursue me? So I don't know. I'm just like trying to get to that stage and trying to get to that point of like being able to, you know, navigate and weed out who's who and what's for what and what season is for what and all these other things. So dating is a task. Dating is hard. Dating is scary, but dating is so worth. I feel like dating is so necessary. It's so necessary. It's so necessary. It's so necessary. I also feel like having a friendship first is so necessary. Before I dive into that, I feel like it is so necessary. It's so necessary. But learning who you are is just like, that's just number one. Learning who you are, dating yourself, whether that's for a month, 3 months, 6, a year, date yourself. I feel like I get so emotional because it's just like, for me, I get so emotional because it just be like, damn, dude, like, who want me for real? Like, this man is out here, like, he done had about 4 or 5 different relationships since us. And it's like, I can't even keep one. So it makes me emotional, like, a lot. But then sometimes it just be like, okay, well, maybe it's just not your time. Maybe you're not ready. So how can you be in a relationship if you're not ready? Like, you're going into something scared. Like, you're supposed to be at ease. Like, it's supposed to be easy to love. Like, it shouldn't be hard. But for me, it's just like, I just be like, damn, like, I got a kid, and some niggas don't even, like, try to deal with people with kids. Like, they only want to have, like, they just only want to have intercourse, and it's just like, I don't know, like, you just really have to be careful. Like, you really have to be careful with you. You really have to be careful with your body. You have to be careful with your mind, what you pour into, what you give, all of that. You really have to be careful because it's dangerous out here. It's dangerous out here, and it's not just my city. It ain't just like my state. It's everywhere. It's dangerous everywhere because you just don't know a person. So I don't know. Like, I'm just learning how to navigate these things. I'm learning what's for me, what's not for me. I don't know. I'm still learning. I'm still navigating. I feel like this week with my therapist, I got something to talk about because I need to know what's up. Like, I need to understand because Tinder ain't hitting it. Tinder is not hitting it. I know I be talking about learning yourself and loving yourself, but I still want to talk to somebody. And that's my problem too. Like, I just have a problem with sometimes I have a problem with being by myself. And I feel like that's probably a reason why I haven't been in a relationship too. Because I'm not, like, all the way comfortable with being by myself, but it's like I always gotta talk to somebody. I always gotta have somebody, you know, to talk to. Like, that's always a thing for me. So I don't know. Like, I don't know. I just know I can't be making the wrong decisions. I can't make the wrong steps again. Like, I can't afford to do that. I really can't afford to do that. Like, I can't do it. So, making the right decision is, you know, hard, but necessary. Yeah, and I'm also trying to lead with God into it too. So I'm trying to keep him in everything that I do. Because before, I'm just like all over the place. I ain't keeping him aware. Like, I'm just like keeping him up to date. Like, God, you see what I'm saying? Like, you know, like I'm keeping him up to date. You know, we have these conversations. So like sometimes we wouldn't even have these conversations. It was just like he see what I'm doing, but nah. Nah, that ain't even cool. I think leaning in and leading with God is just like the best thing for me to do. And so that's just what I'm gonna do. That's just what I'm gonna have to do. It gets hard, it gets lonely. It's just, I don't know, but I know I have to get me together first. I have to take care of my business first. You know, I have to make sure my shit in order before I even bring somebody else into the equation. So, but I at least want to meet, like, be friends with who's gonna be my soulmate. Like, I at least want to do that, you know, within this year. Like, I at least want that. I want to be friends, you know, maybe the next year. And turn into a relationship. Then the next year, you know, we're building, we're growing. You know, then the next year, possibly engagement. Who knows? You know, like, I just want to do something like that. Like, I want to do it. I don't know, because I ain't gonna say the right way, because I don't know what the right way is, and I don't know if I don't even know if, like, I'm there to even think about the right way. But I want to do it the way that is best, and that the way that is best for me and my son. You know, like, I want to do what's best for me. So, I don't know. We're going to get it right. We're going to get it right. We're going to get it right. It's going to take some time, but we're going to get it right. It's a struggle out here in these dating streets. It's a struggle. You got Instagram, and, like, it's just exhausting. But, you know, that's pretty much the gist of this episode. You know, we always do advice on finding her way, and my advice on finding her way would be to just take your time. Take your time, learn to love you, you know, date yourself, do all of those things. Journal about your dating life. You can have a journal for personal, journal for dating, or you could intertwine and mix it together. Do what you think is best for you. But date you, learn you, love you. That is the most important thing. I feel like before getting into a relationship, I feel like that is what's going to make the relationship sustain and hold up, because you're able to learn who you are. You're able to learn how to communicate effectively, because you know how you want to communicate. So you're able to communicate that. So I feel like, you know, just take your time and learn to love you. That is all for Finding Her Way podcast in this episode. I hope you guys, you know, got it. I hope I wasn't all over the place. I hope you got something from it. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast. I hope you enjoyed and took at least one thing, if any, from this. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share us with a friend you know. Follow us on Instagram at Finding Her Way Pod, and send us letters or questions to askfhw@gmail.com. We hope to hear from you in the next episode.